Well, Joni, there's a self-producer right there.
Yeah.
She is a self-producer. She doesn't really even like love producers. She calls them tailgaters. So I get to a certain extent what she's saying, you know, and she's always got a little mischief in her eyes about this kind of shit, but she was, she always has a plan. She's always in charge. And I met her at her 75th birthday party, and one thing led to another. She met my wife, they hit it off, became friends, and I was allowed to come to a dinner that they had. And yeah, it really is. Like, I was like really beside myself. And it was right after the 2019 Grammys, so I had just had the greatest, I felt like one of the greatest moments of my entire life. And then the very next night, I got to like go out to dinner with Joni Mitchell. And she said to me, she said, I don't do music anymore. And she goes, and before you get weird or sad about it, it's not sad. I'm a painter, I choose to paint. And was just kind of like really dignified about it. And just kind of like she was choosing not to do music, you know, after this aneurysm had taken everything from her. And she was slowly getting these fine motor skills and basic skills back. And the woman works out every day. All she does is physical therapy, swimming, walking, singing, working. She just works to get her body to listen to her again. And she goes, but what is sad about it is that I have this room in my house with all these instruments. She goes, and the room just really wants music. Like, it's a space that just is made for music. And she goes, so maybe, you know, we could do some jams. We could have jams. And her best friend Marcy was like, yeah, we need to do this jam thing. And she like looked me in the eye and said, are you in? And I was like, watch me, don't my peer, watch me dance. Like, yes, I am in. So like 2 weeks later, I pulled a few people together and we went over to Joni's house. And it was, the idea was like, we were like these, we had been called to the court to entertain the queen, you know, and we were gonna sing for Joni, and everybody's palms were sweating and everybody was stressed. And you know, she fed us and we were drinking wine, and we moved into this living room, and I played first. I played a song of mine called Cannonball, and then my friend Andrew Hosier, he played an old Irish folk melody, and we started passing songs around, and in walks Shaka Khan, who Joni had invited without telling us, right? And she said something to me like, bitch, you're not drinking that, and took my wine. And then, you know, and started singing a harmony, you know, and everything we were doing, and it was like really surreal. And then in walks Herbie Hancock, who Joni also invited, and she's just sitting there in her chair, just like smiling cheeky at everyone, you know. And this is probably 4 years ago, maybe. And Herbie sits down at the piano, and he just starts kind of fluttering over some notes, and this abstract chord was coming together and creating this beautiful web of overtones. And we didn't really understand what it was, but Joni did. And for the first time since she hit that floor all those years ago with the aneurysm, she went, summertime and the living is easy. And everyone burst into tears. Herbie burst into tears. Marcy, all the people that had been with Joni since the aneurysm just started crying. And I was like, what? And they're like, that's the first time that she opened her mouth and sang. And I've been there every time she's done it since. And so I've watched that change, that growth. We've put together so many groups of people to surround Joni, sit on the floor, play guitars, learn her songs. She sings her songs with us. She sings whatever she wants. And it's been probably the great honor of my life to watch that recovery happen and see what human beings can overcome and what's possible, because now she just stands up out of that chair and she dances and she walks on stage and sings Summertime, and it's like unbelievable to watch someone age in reverse and age out of such a debilitating neurological event like that.
Wow.
So Newport was a dream of mine, because Joni Newport in 1969 was the last time she was there, and that first time Joni sang Summertime, I went to Newport that year, and Dolly came out, and we did the Dolly Parton Day at Newport, and the Highwaymen performed for the first time, and they had hung a big poster of Joni in my dressing room, and I sent a picture of myself kissing the poster to Joni, and I said, maybe you'll come back here someday.
Yeah.
And then she did, and it was like a dream. I just saw it, and but she had to get herself there, and she had to do it. And we didn't know if she would sing with us. We didn't know what she would do. All of us were planning on singing the songs that we sing in the jams. It was the same shit, the chairs and the tables everywhere and the floor lamp and all the living room, you know?
Yeah.
And sometimes she sings with us at the house, and sometimes she doesn't. Sometimes she just drinks her wine and smirks disapprovingly. And so we didn't know, but she got that microphone in her hand, man, and it was like every song. We didn't even know what to do half the time. Should we stop? Should we grab a harmony? And then she would grab a harmony with the most interesting notes. And just watching her navigate that was like, I knew an album was being made. I knew a historical album was being made.
Yeah.
And it hit people really hard globally. Both sides now went so viral as a video.
That next morning, it was all I heard about, and it was everywhere on my social feeds, and everybody's talking. And I remember texting Matt Chamberlain. It's like, "Oh, I saw you there. You were there. Oh my God!"
Yeah.
It's like
yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's play some of that because we got a couple of snippets. And